And so I was just like, hey, let me check and see um, if these coins have showed up. And guess what? They have shown up. So we're going to complete the process right now. I believe it's a very quick process. So if you would join me and let's go ahead and complete the process. All right.
Are you ready?
Hope y'all doing all right. Y'all with me? All right. So let's go here. So if it's okay with you guys, I want to talk a little bit about the white paper to give you some insight to what this program, I mean, the high impact here. I mean, they have really put together something that is phenomenal. And right. And so when we're talking about Tupan is a token that is collaborating with Zeniq Technologies and came over to the Zeniq blockchain in order to go ahead and scale their particular project. So I'm going to go over here to their white paper and see if it'll give you a little more insight to the program, because it is a phenomenal program. Let me tell you, phenomenal. And I think you're going to like that. All right. So let's make sure that I'm not in the way and you can kind of see the screen and everything. I might just take myself out. Tell you the truth, that might be the best option in this picture here. All right. So let's see. Cause yeah. All right. Let's roll with it. Just so you can kind of get the full effects here. This white paper is about the Tupan token, or the Tupan community token. And we're gonna go through real quick. We're not gonna hit all of these, but I'm just giving you a quick overview of the program because I think it's really important, because a lot of people really don't know the value of being part of the Saphir Global membership. Because with the Saphir Global membership, we actually get early access to some amazing tokens that have actual utilities, like tokens that are like one of a kind projects. And everything we have has is like a company. It's not just a token with some made up utility. Um, what one of the regional directors called Mickey Mouse tokens. No pump and dump. These are literally like companies that have tokenized, and that's where Zeniq Technologies has stepped in and helped them tokenize their particular projects to a point where they can bring that to the Saphir Global membership, because we're the exclusive distributors for Zeniq Technologies. And so they're always looking for special programs, things that are cutting edge, the first of its kind types in this DeFi space and the tokenization space, and onto Web3 and AI. These are the type of projects that they're bringing for us to actually, one, we get to participate early, where we can get the tokens minted on a continuous basis. And normally when we first get them, we have a bonus, sometimes 10%, sometimes 20%, maybe up to 50% bonus. And these bonuses are 150 tokens that we can mint every single day, and that's locked in, right? And then when somebody else, when it hits the public, then it's at 99 or 100. Most times it's right at 99 tokens per day. And every week it drops a little bit, because there's a sales halving and there is a annual halving. So that halving process helps to keep the coins, the price, to be steady. But at the same time, you have to shrink the amount that's being produced. Kind of like when you're mining cryptocurrency, you have the difficulty rate. And so when you're in the DeFi space and you're minting the cryptocurrency, then you have the halving process, right? So welcome to this white paper. The document has the purpose of providing you with the core information regarding the minting of the token tokenomics, its blockchain purpose, usability, and an overview of the real life assets connected to it. Keep in mind, there's always additional information on our social media and other platforms. All right, so I just want to give you like a really good overview. So let me see if I can find that. This guy, Ordeli Feriani, he is a Tupan founder. His resume is incredible, right? Um, he's done a lot, like a lot. So look, it says in the United States, he's a banker. He's a founder of obviously this Tupan token. He's a manager of 3 investment funds. He said he was able to understand the market dynamics and demands and the direction that humanity was heading. He realized that there was a market gap that had not been filled, and something that would provide innovation, technology, and regeneration far beyond sustainability. And so he's basically talking about he founded this fintech company called ForestAu, which uses the Tupan token to generate funds to help repair the rainforest. But how did they do that with the carbon credits? And that's what I want to get to here in a few seconds. So if you're if you're really about saving the earth, saving the planet, right? You talk about climate change and reducing the carbon footprint. This right here is definitely something I want you to check out. And so here he says. He does not believe only in environmental awareness. He believes in a generation of wealth, employment, and income through social development and shared knowledge applied to the environment in a regenerative way, right? So that right there is incredible. The Tupan Project is born out of the urgency to create revolutionary initiatives that provide positive gains in all their ramifications. We're breaking the barriers of financial engineering to bring to the ordinary investor the possibility of making a difference in the world. Tupan unites blockchain technology with the tools needed to foster the regenerative circular bioeconomy. The purpose is to bring an easily accessible and high potential token so that everyone can participate in the transcendent movement toward the regeneration of humanity. Tupan's vision for the future places it as a reference in the global digital asset market, ESG, environmental, social, and governance. It was born to transform humanity and generate positive gains at scale. So that right there is really the summation of the Tupan project. And we are so fortunate to be part of this. And now we see the evolution with the vending pool that we've been talking about. Our mission, they said, first of all, how did we end up like this? During the rise of the 21st century, none other than the consumer itself started noticing the negative effects. This relentless exploration was taken on the planet for future generations to deal with, thus demanding that companies and governments not only change their methods, but also raise awareness over the subject. So this is talking about climate change and really the destruction of the bioeconomy. Right. So one of the methods created for companies to regulate their emissions were CO2 certificates, which basically meant a company that detained this prevented the emissions of a certain amount of CO2 in the environment. And this would be key part of the regeneration of the planet, the monetization of regeneration. Right. So really, that's what Tupan's mission really focused on, is how do we take part in the CO2 certificate trade in order to help to regenerate the planet, right? So monetization of regeneration. Pretty interesting. The status quo of tokens. So we know tokens are just tokens, right? Unless they have some type of utility, they really don't have any value. And there's no lack of, tokens and crypto. And so they had to do something different and enter Tupan. So this is where Tupan was born, out of the realization that we need to aid the environment, but we can earn while doing so, which is not only the most realistic approach to preservation, but really the only financially stable and sustainable option. There's a big share of the market that wants to invest in green projects and CO2 certificates, but it's met with unnecessary bureaucracy, which is something that can be mitigated with the practicality of the revolutionary blockchain technology. Pretty cool. So the future He says, what we seek doesn't stop on CO2 certificates. We're constantly working on new kinds of certification that not only measure gas emissions, but quantifies the overall contribution to the preservation of our environment through a series of new criteria with all the SDGs guidelines in mind. So the SDGs, those are um, um, the UN 17 sustainable development goals that they have every year, for the globe, for the global community, so to speak. So our purpose is to expand on the methods that we can earn by fomenting the circular bioeconomy to properly aid our environment and the communities of the Amazonia, which is full of hardworking people, drawing the attention of both visionary investors and companies to a great green future in all senses of the word. Okay, carbon credit. So let's talk about this. Amidst the chaos of the 1980s events, the first concept of carbon offsetting or starting from scratch, mainly within the realm of voluntary actions of newly started NGOs, as they would not only direct the criteria for the reduction of greenhouse gases and emissions, but also put the subject on the map and pressure organizations to take action. The officialization of the carbon credit emission certificate emerged in the late 1990s within the Kyoto Protocol as part of the CDM Clean Development Mechanism program in order to suppress the erratic wave of pollution taking place in the world. This was caused by the mass emissions of carbon dioxide, which is the greatest responsibility for greenhouse effect, but this time properly regulated and with set guidelines. What is the greenhouse effect? That is the global warming. Thus, the market would be separated into two different categories, regulated and voluntary. The voluntary carbon credit market, this one is key to this program. The voluntary market, as the name implies, is not mandatory, which means there are no limitations imposed by law for the amount of carbon and overall pollution companies can release airborne. Therefore, the reasoning behind the acquisition of carbon credit lies in two major factors from a business standpoint. One, marketing and social regulation. Even though several countries don't have their carbon emissions regulated by their respective governments, yet society is very vocal about their disapproval of uncontrolled and irresponsible emissions, as well as overall pollution and non-regenerative exploitation of our natural resources. Number two, financial results. By offsetting their carbon emissions, companies can redirect what was spent with the offset into the pricing of their final product, thus giving them reason for a slight raise without diminishing sales volume. Okay, so there's two ways that they can participate voluntarily. One is by purchasing carbon credits, or two, the marketing and social regulations. So let's see um, which one Tupan is part of. So the regulated, which is the compliance carbon credit market. The compliance CO2 market is regulated by international, regional, and subnational carbon reduction schemes, such as the previously mentioned Clean Development Mechanism of the Kyoto Protocol and the European Union Emissions Trading System. CO2 emissions are measured in carbon credits. The carbon credit that is traded in the regulated market is the assigned amount unit. Each signatory country under the Paris Agreement has a nationally determined contribution, which is the different levels of anthropogenic equivalent emissions of carbon dioxide from greenhouse gases. Each signatory country agreed to limit the greenhouse effect. Each country receives 1 AAU for every ton of greenhouse gases it commits to limiting. To ensure that real and measurable emissions reductions are achieved, designated operational entities, validators, and verifiers must validate emission reductions for projects before they can offer carbon credits on the market. So estimated carbon credit value, the value of the carbon offset market could top 500 billion by 2050. Right now, it looks like it is at, that's this 2022, you're looking at about 300 million. Yep. So 300 billion, 2022. So 200 billion. And then the purple is all up to 500. That's a lot. So there's tokenomics, which we're not going to get into, but definitely tokenomics. Um, and this just relates to one, the creation of the Tupan tokens, which is the minting process through hubs that are associated with the Zeniq blockchain. So 5% of hubs sold at Saphir goes to ForestAu Green, right? So that's one of the ways they produce those tokens. The customer buys a hub at Saphir, and such as the Tupan minting node or Tupan minting share, and joins the TCT community. So Saphir is the company responsible for selling the minting products that run on the Zeniq blockchain. So that's the first piece of the puzzle, is that you basically become a member of the Saphir community. You purchase a Zeniq hub, and then you purchase a Tupan minting add-on hub, and then you're ready to go ahead and start minting the Tupan tokens. Okay. So part of the profits from the sale of the Tupan hub is directed to the ForestAu to aid the fund's impact investments, carbon capture, storing, and issuing of the offset certificates. TCTs are minted on the Saphir back office as a reward and can be used for trading, applying on our vending pool, as well as currency to exchange for CO2 certificates that are sold by ForestAu. All right. So the wisdom is, if you minting these particular tokens, then you have three options, that you can choose to actually, cash in or hold them for a little while and trade them for the ForestAu tokens as well. So there's a few options you got. The halving process, as I mentioned earlier, is there. The utility of the TCT, right? So what is the token good for? And this is vitally important. Tupan takes the current situation into consideration and not only meets the company demands for CO2 certificates, but also encourages the crypto market as well as B2B at the same time. So both can be in a win-win situation and complement each other. So neither has to be limited to only one realm, the crypto B2B or B2C, right? And I hope you understand B2B is business to business, B2C is business to customer. One of the options the Tupan community has apart from the conventional trading approach is directly acquiring their compensation certificates with the ForestAu Green Fund by paying the equivalent of USD for the certificate with the TCT according to its current market price. So the value of the TCT comes from the fact that they're acquiring the compensation certificates with the ForestAu Green Fund. So this is the actual foundation, a fund, investment fund, that they're using to purchase these certificates, right? And they're paying the equivalent USD for the certificate. And this is all coming from the creation of the TCT, right? The actual Tupan community token. All right. So it's being used to actually make these purchases. All right. So the vending pool price mechanic. This is, like I said, this goes on and on and on, but a quick diagram gives you kind of what the vending pool serves as the conduit for you to actually transact, or you can go ahead and trade in your TCTs through the vending pool. All right. Now, there's going to be use for them in some of these other particular processes. But if you want to trade them in, you have the right to do so, which, obviously we just did a little transaction. And that gets into it a little deeper, right? The fund is going to basically use 20% of the purchase to liquidate in the vending pool. And so everybody gets to make a little bit off of that. And that could easily be a 200,000, or 2 million, euro or dollar, amount. And 20% of that will be divvied up and given to those that stake their Tupan community tokens to provide liquidity to the pool. So yes, so this is just a kind of an example of what we were just talking about. but 20% will be burned after 6 months, increasing the burn percentage each semester. And that helps the price to continue to go up. So blockchain, DeFi and blockchain. So definitely giving us some background on that and how it relates to, um, natural disasters, humanitarian aid. Blockchain has been used in pretty much every aspect of our lives, really. And so Tupan Community Token is currently on the Zeniq blockchain, which exceeds in both transaction speeds and security, as well as a few security measures provided by the Zeniq blockchain to ensure safety of the transaction, such as the shield technology, the Zeniq hub, and the 3-factor authentication. Nothing like it on the market. Nothing. So Zeniq has the strongest blockchain and is one of the most powerful and relative and long-term platforms in this blockchain space. Been around since 2021. So introduction to the minting process. So that's something that you can definitely check out. A minting process explained. This right here will have your head spinning, but it is fascinating information. You definitely want to check this out. Definitely want to check it out, because you start with the pollination event, then you got an irrigation event, then you got a blooming event, and then you have the harvest. That right there is bringing it full circle. Really, really good stuff. All right. And all of it happens behind the scenes. Like, we don't see all of that, but that gives you an understanding of the process to develop the Tupan token. So it's pretty cool. All right. Disclaimers. Obviously, information is always put out there, but you got to understand, not financial advice, not, we don't mislead anybody, not investment advice. We're just explaining what the Tupan project is doing. All right. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, all the way out to 2024. So really what they're doing is collecting a lot of the tokens here, and then they're going to determine the value of what's coming out and what will be distributed. And that'll happen in 2024. So we're in Q2 of 2023. And so we got pretty much 6 months plus before we see some results on that. So like I said, it's going to be tied up for 120 days, which is about 4 months. So you're creeping into Q4 pretty soon, and then you might as well, be looking forward to something in the early part of 2024. So that's how long the coins will be locked up, the tokens. And so obviously these are just some partners here in this whole project. All right. So yeah, this is really, really interesting stuff. Something I wanted to make sure that, I provided you an update on. Hopefully this gave you some insight to the power of what we have right in front of us. And I really, I try my best to get that information out to you. And I always want to provide quality information and quality projects. And I hope that I did that with the Tupan community token and its relative powerful, impactful, mission in this space. So this has been the Tupan, presentation from the white paper, really digging in deep to give you some insight to the Tupan token and that whole, repairing the rainforest and the bigger bioeconomy. And if you see some value in this and you have questions, or you want to figure out how can you do your part to really help, in this mission, and as well as monetize it for yourself, then definitely get in touch with me so we can have that conversation. And I will absolutely get you up to speed with how to do that in the best way, where you can get your own minting nodes, the Tupan minting nodes, and you definitely be on your way. All right. So what I'll do right now is let me just check and see what the actual price of those are. I think right now, they're going for, 89 per. Let me look right quick. So you'll know if you do purchase a Zeniq hub. A Zeniq hub is it's like about €1,500, and then in order to mint the Tupan, then you will, let me see, €998. That gets you 85 Tupans minted per day. That's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah. So they're right at 85 per day. So anyway, and you can get that every day, minted every single day. So you're looking at what, 80, 30 days, at least 240 a month, 242,000 a month, ain't it? So that's about, yeah, about 2,500 a month. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And this is the right time to do it as well. So anyway, hey, this has been a great presentation. I had a good time with you. I learned a lot because this is the first time I went through the white paper. It's not the first time that I did a presentation about the Tupan and Saphir and the Zeniq collaboration, but it is the first time that I've actually went through the white paper as it's been revised. And so I appreciate you guys going through that with me. All I can say is I hope that you got some value out of that. And I hope that we're able to connect on this particular part of the program, because I think this is phenomenal. I mean, really helping save the earth, and at the same time having monetization of the program to where we can actually benefit from it as well. Man, that's a win-win right there. All right. So anyway, I'll see you on the other side. Peace. Y'all take care.